This is Mark Zoril with PlanVision. In this video, we'll give you some tips on how to get through the process of setting up your IB account. I do want to make a note before we get started here that there are a couple of ways that you can actually get your account going. Many of you will choose to get an email from Interactive Brokers from PlanVision and start your application there. Or you can simply go right to the Interactive Brokers website and click Open up an account and get going from there. However you choose to get started, this will be the first screen. You're going to want to get started with your username and your password, and be sure to pay attention to the tips I've given on how to set up your username and password. They have specific requirements. And then also, just as importantly, when you get started on the very first screen, you're going to have to correctly identify your residential country. Your residential country is where you live. It is not where you're from or where you're moving to. It is the country where you live. And where you live is your country of legal residence. There's no reason for you to check yes here. After you verify your username and password with an email verification, you'll get started right here. Your account will be either an individual or joint account. The retirement accounts are only for Americans that are setting up IRAs or Roth IRAs. Your base currency, which you can easily change later, will be the currency that you expect to send into your account and trade as well. By the way, you can also have a multi-currency account if you want in the future. You can easily send in more than one currency to your IB account. In my case, because I'm using that I'm going to invest as a European, I'll select the euro. So I will load in my name and date of birth, get started with my address. If you do not have a zip code in the country that you live in, be sure to put a 0. There's no zip code. Also, and this is a key point, if you want to use a different mailing address, by all means, you can just add a different mailing address as well. Right here, I'll change that back to no. And then in my case, since I'm using that I'm Spanish as an example, I would indicate Spain as my country of citizenship. Your country of tax residency will be the country that you live in. And if that country has a tax ID number, list it here. If they don't, just check no. You can also add an additional tax residency if you want. If you don't, simply don't. If you're an American, you definitely want to add the U.S. as your second tax residency. Other countries don't require that. Excuse me, actually, some other countries may require that. It's up to you on whether or not you want to add in the country of your citizenship as a second country of tax identification. And you would just do that right here if you want to. You will then list for a form of identification. Most people will use a passport where the country is issued and then put in your number. You'll then list your employer and their address, and IB will not accept a P.O. box for the address of an employer. You'll have to have a physical address. Then under account type, you'll select a cash account. In the area for your assets and income, I wouldn't be too concerned about being precise on this, but I would always pick anything more than the first option. Your investment objectives simply need to be growth. And this is how you'll fill out the area for your investment experience. You'll only need to pick stocks. For years trading, you will do greater than 10. You will do 11 to 25. And then your knowledge level will be good. You'll need to answer it this way to get your account approved, which is what your priority is. You'll now select the countries you want to trade in, either in North America, Asia, or Europe. If you're an American, you'll select the U.S. markets. If you're just a Canadian that's only going to invest in Canada, you'll select here. Australians would select Australia if they want to trade in their home country, or any of these markets as well for folks from that area. Europeans, if they're going to be trading in the European markets, would simply select all, and then they'd be covered with all the markets. If you're from the UK, or if you're an international investor that will be trading in the London Stock Exchange, then the only exchange that you'll need to check is the United Kingdom. And by the way, you can update markets later after your account is set up. Now, because I'm using an application as a non-American, in this case, I will have to fill out the substitute form W8BEN. If I'm an American, I will not see this form. The form will be pre-filled out for you. It'll have all the information in for you. You simply need to answer question number 9. In question number 9, if the country you're living in has a treaty with the U.S., which Thailand does, you'd select it here. However, if you live in a country in which there is not a treaty with the U.S., you would select I'm not a resident in a country with the U.S. tax treaty. And many times the system will default to that for you. You are now at the part of the application where you can decide how you're going to fund your account. And so your account will say active and ready for funding. So you can go ahead and get started here. What you're going to want to do is to do a cash transfer. And I'll walk you through the two different options depending upon whether or not you're an American or a non-American. Actually, this video will only cover transfers for non-Americans. I have a separate, shorter video for Americans and how they can transfer their funds over. So what you'll do is select cash transfer. Then you'll indicate the currency that you're going to be transferring over. In this case, euros. And then you'll enter the bank that will be transferring your funds from. And you can do an estimate on an amount. You can always change that amount later. It's already indicated euros. And from here, you'll hit confirm notification. And that's it. At this point, what IB has done is generated the information that you're going to need with its bank information in Germany for euros that you can use to go initiate a transfer from that bank to your IB account. And then if you want to create another transfer, you can just start over from here. Now you're ready to upload your documents on this part of the IB section. So you simply go here and you click upload, and you can upload your residential proof of address and then also your proof of identity as well. Now at this point, you don't have to upload your documents, but you can. But even if you don't, what you're going to want to do is to move on to the next step, which is the configuration of your account. This is another important step in the process, and this is the secure login system. And so what you can do for this is you can either use your IB key for your iPhone or your Android, and we definitely recommend that you go through the steps to do that, or you can do the physical secure login device, and this is where you download 224 index codes that you can use on a temporary basis to access information on your account. If you do this, this is what it looks like. By the way, if you do get a temporary security code, you will be mailed a permanent one about 21 days after your account has been funded. So at this point, you've basically completed the process. You just need to make sure that you get your documents uploaded and that you have your security device, or you have a login feature either with your IB key or the 224 security codes. And then hopefully your account will be approved soon.